We are back. Welcome to another episode of This Ain't Practice. I am your host, Chris J.
And I'm your DJ Shad. What it do? What it do?
What's up, my man? How you doing, man? How was your week?
Week was great. As you know, not feeling great.
Right.
Self-inflicted again.
man, I know those days. I remember those days.
Man,
I done had some Mike Tyson punch out days, man, from those, man. The Minneapolis 394 on the side of the highway, man, begging for forgiveness, man. Down here on 45, man. I know all about those days.
I was with you. I was with you on.
Yeah, you were, man.
I was the cause of it.
Man, the car was bumping, and I'm like, man, is this dude? We got hydraulics all of a sudden in his work vehicle. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's just like you were hitting switches. I'm like, oh man, like, bro, please slow down. Like, my stomach can't take this.
You gotta pull over.
Like, pull over.
I'm like, it's 3 p.m.
Man. Then had the nerve to tag me on Facebook like I was partying with you when I was in the room in bad shape, man. I got the notification, and I'm like, man, I am not attending these festivities right now.
I'm an asshole.
I know. I was looking at the notification. I was like, I never heard of her. I'm not there.
Yo. And Shell was like, yeah, I saw Chris. He just came in.
You said I did the scare. She said I did the Michael Jackson, the Thriller. Remember he hit him with the Thriller? She said I did the Thriller. I was like, hey sis, did the Thriller and walked in the room. Man, I was messed up.
You were gone. I remember that. I was crying.
Yeah, man, murked me. Man, then she's in the kitchen, man, making the succulent dishes. Y'all partying up, man, and I'm in the room like, man, please, just the room was spinning. I'm like, please stop. Please, this room just stop moving. Even though the room was not moving, it was me.
We in there party rocking in the house tonight.
Like, man, what kind of friend is this?
He getting tagged like he's at the
man, and then on top of it, man, all that rain we got, bro. This was crazy. You know what's so crazy? I was thinking about it. We've been out here long enough. There are springs and summers in Dallas where you get no rain. It's like you're begging for rain. We got more rain in like the last week and a half, 2 weeks. It feels like than we get like for like months straight in Dallas. Like, this was crazy.
Crazy. Have you ever seen anything like it? Just in like even in Minnesota, I don't remember it being rainy like that.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy, man. My backyard is jacked up. It's
messed up.
Oh yeah, we was already like trying to grow grass in certain spots or whatever.
Right.
And our seeds basically drowned.
Oh man, it murked the seeds. Oh yeah, I remember you saying that the other night. Yeah.
They drowned. So I'm gonna put some more soil down and try to build it up again and get it higher. The problem is we don't have whatchamacallit? We don't have gutters.
You don't have gutters?
Yeah, so I don't feel like paying for any. So, but man, it's like that all around the neighborhood. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's that for? He said, "Who needs Niagara Falls when you got Dallas?"
Man, facts.
That's been crazy, man. How's your yard looking, man?
It's good, man. That rain just makes the grass, the grass grow. Because I use one of the, the lawn care companies that they come out, in service. Because I needed that, because if I didn't have, like, my yard was looking all patchy and stuff like that. This is a few years back, so man, they come out and do their thing and
put the fertilizer down and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, our front yard is impeccable. It's beautiful. Like, thank God for that. We got lucky, because we use the lawn service too, or whatever, so they do that. But the backyard, man, it's
needs some work, huh?
It's some work, man. Must be desired. So, But anyway, man, let's get into these sports, man. What we got popping?
Let's go, man. So our beloved Minnesota Timberwolves, man. The run is over. I know you're repping the cap, man. You got him in the background, still repping, man. Love to see that. But man, they went down in flames on game 5. And that was tough to watch. I know you had some traveling delays and whatnot going on, man. But let's just say I turned it off at halftime. I'm like, I am not sitting through this. This is bad, man. This is bad. Like, okay, when because the crazy part, I think at one point it was 18-18, and then Dallas went on a 19-1 run.
Damn.
Luka hit a couple threes, and man, then he was telling the crowd, man, to go home. And this was in the first quarter. I'm like, man, when he's telling you to bounce in the first quarter, this is over.
Whoa.
He dotted. Yeah, he hit him it was like 2 straight threes he hit. Then he hit like a pull up, and he was dotting them dudes, man. So I was like, because one of the fans had a handkerchief, like he was crying, like a bib or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, and he was like, he's like, who's crying now, MF?
No, he didn't.
Oh, you could look it up on YouTube. Facts.
Oh,
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
So I've been avoiding like the highlights and all that
Good.
stuff because I'm hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like so this is seriously the first time I'm hearing this stuff because I tried to watch it, but it kept freezing on me, and I was like, I paid all that money for nothing, for the Wi-Fi or whatever, and so I didn't watch it, and then when I landed, my phone was blowing the F up, and I knew they lost because nobody texted me when they win. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll text.
Of course, how it always is. You only hear from them when your squad's getting murked.
Exactly.
But mysteriously, when you win, their stuff's broken. Their services is interrupted or something. You don't hear nothing from them. So
silence of the lambs.
Facts. Clarice.
Yep, Clarice. So I was like, oh, these niggas lost. And so like, I started checking. Chrissy hit me. She said something. I was like, oh, I couldn't watch it. I was traveling. I was like, did we win? I knew we didn't. You know what I'm saying? She's like, nah, y'all lost, fail.
Man. To put it mildly, it was bad, man. It was bad.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I didn't watch any of that shit. They needed me. They needed me.
That was it, man. You was bringing the luck. At least you brought it in game 4.
I brought it in game 4, man. Man, that's so. Well, I mean, what do you think? Just in general,
to be honest with you,
what do we do now?
I think, just kind of reflecting on this series for a minute, the Wolves were a better matchup with Denver than they were against Dallas. And I'm not saying like that was the only game they really got blown out of. Like the Wolves really should have won both games at home, in my opinion. I'm not even being like a homer or being biased. Like those are games they should have won. Especially game 2. Like that was just ridiculous to lose that game. That was horrible. I think it was demoralizing for them. I think it took a lot of the life out of them. They could have won game 3 down here in Dallas. Yep. Like they were in the game. So it's not like Dallas is leaps and bounds better than the Wolves, but like Luka is just he's a problem, man. He's a nightmare problem. And like the Joker's a problem, but you were throwing bodies at the Joker. You didn't have any bodies to throw at Luka. Like in terms of where they were effective, where they like slowed them down. It was just, and we talked about that. What was it? Game 2. I think it was game 2 when you got Rudy Gobert guarding him on the perimeter. Like there's just so many things. Like if you could go back in time, like would you even have Rudy on? I know he's a defensive player of the year, 4-time, defensive player of the year winner, but like he was just so ineffective. And I'm not necessarily fully blaming him because you had him in bad spots. Like you got him guarding guards on the perimeter. Like that's nuts. That's not even Rudy's strength. Rudy is a help defender. Rudy, like say use let's say Cat, he's got whoever his man is, PJ's backing him down. He's getting ready to come in the paint, do something. Rudy comes over and helps. Right. Like that's Rudy's strength. But like as a one-on-one lockdown defender, that's not Rudy.
No. And excuse me, a lot of these, a lot of folks win the defensive player of the year because of like blocks and steals and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great rim protector and all that. But in those situations, that's not a good look. Even McDaniels, like when he saw that he was on, we talked about this last week. When he saw that he had got switched over to Luka, even McDaniels was like, "That's not going to work."
Yep, it gave that stank face, like, nah, that's not good.
That's not. But there was nothing he could do. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing he could do.
He should have been on the floor. that's in that situation to
Yeah.
me, because if again, and I know this is revisionist history, but
Right.
you rather give up a 2 attempt than Luka shooting a 3.
Right.
So to
Agreed.
me, Rudy shouldn't have been there. You should have had a smaller guy, a quicker guy, a more agile guy,
Yeah.
because they were running the same play. And Jason Kidd's so smart because, like, from a basketball contextual standpoint, he runs his offense from the middle, right? So it's hard to double team. One of the cardinal rules is in defense in NBA, they don't double team when in the middle of the floor, because if you double team in the middle of the floor, you got the shooters. They're all the way spread out. It's harder to get back.
Right. Okay.
So that's why, because like if you double team on the baseline, you can use the baseline as a defender. So you kind of you have less space to maneuver. But when you double team in the middle of the floor, it causes problems. And Dallas can spread you out with different shit. Was Hardaway, with PJ, Derek Jones was hitting threes. When you're surrounding with that many guys and you got Luka or Kyrie with the ball and you're spreading them out, Jason Kidd, like, man, he did a master class. And I think Chris Finch is an excellent coach, but Jason Kidd outcoached him.
Most definitely.
Strategy, he outcoached him, man. It was brilliant. What he did. So, I mean, the Wolves had a great season. I think 56 wins in the regular season. I think when we talked at the beginning of the year, I think you had them at a 6 seed. I had them as a 4 seed, and they ended up being a 3rd seed. So they outplayed both of our expectations.
Yeah.
They went farther than I thought that they were gonna advance in the playoffs. Like, I like where they're at now. The $1 million question is what's going to happen with the ownership. They're headed for litigation right now. With Glenn Taylor, he's saying the team is not for sale. A-Rod and Mark Lurie are saying, it's basically a breach of contract. Like they had the money available for that last installment to pay Glenn Taylor.
Yeah.
They're saying Glenn Taylor doesn't want to sell because the team is popping now and the value the value has gone up. Potential dirty work right there. I don't know.
That's nasty work, bro.
Yeah. So, but Glenn Taylor, because here's the thing about it. A-Rod and them, they tried to buy the New York Mets before. They ain't have enough money. Allegedly, the finances weren't right. So this sounds like they were asking for an extension again.
Glenn, 2 sides.
Yeah. And Glenn Taylor said, he said they were doing unnecessary things. He's like, they were building like offices and special rooms in the Target Center that he was like was a waste of money. It wasn't needed. And then they were like, oh, Glenn Taylor's just being unprofessional. So this is supposed to go to an arbitration. The NBA has the commissioner, drawing a blank right now, his name, but he said
Stern.
No, Stern. He was the old commissioner.
Shit.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. Yeah. I'm tripping.
He said the NBA is staying out of this. They're gonna let they got mediation. This is all within the context of the contract. That there's language in there how if something like this were to happen, how it's supposed to follow course and how it's supposed to happen. So they're supposed to go to a to mediation. What's going on, big guys? My boy Brandon.
Oh, what up, Brandon? It said bounce Taylor so we can get KG back.
Man,
yeah, they got beats.
It'd be nice if KG's ownership group, could buy them.
Yeah, KG don't. He's not even in the building.
He's not. I think he came back for where he was supposed to come back for one of the games, but I don't remember seeing him on the site. Like I saw Adrian Peterson, there, and I saw some other guys, kind of Minnesota legends or ties or whatever, but I didn't see Kevin Garnett. Because I mean, he should have his jersey up in the rafters. He should have a statue.
He should. He built the Target Center.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, he built the Target Center, man. Yeah. That's crazy. That dynamic between him and Taylor, man. That's anyway. Well, what do you think is gonna happen in the what's the end game?
I think Taylor's gonna be able to hold on to the team. He may have to pay them the money, the installments that they
pay the money back.
He may have to pay them the money back plus interest. I wouldn't be surprised if he has to come out, maybe another 100 million on top of it, or a couple 100 million, or something like that, and he retrieves full ownership of the team. That would be my guess. And the bigger problem for the Wolves is they're over the they're going to be over the salary cap.
Son of a biscuit.
They're going to, and there's different aprons. So there's a first level apron, there's a second level apron, but they're going to be over the second level apron because Ant's new contract kicks in July 1st. Cat's extension kicks in July 1st. Jaden McDaniels' extension, I think, kicks in July. And see, when Ant made the second team All NBA, he got became a Supermax eligible player, so he got an additional $40 million.
Oh, his price went up.
Oh man! Yesterday's price is
it's not today's
price. It's not. And then Cat's extension, bro, took him from 35 million to like 50 million.
Damn.
Yeah. And then you got to decide. Rudy, he makes 30, between 30 and 35. He's due for a contract extension. So are you going to extend Rudy Gobert? Are you going to, what exactly are you going to do now? The president of operations, Tim Connolly, he's a beast because he's the one that built the Wolves. He's the one that built the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And he met with Glenn Taylor. He announced that he was going to come back because he had an opt out in his contract where he could opt out and leave and go to another team, become basically kind of like a free agent front office type of guy. But he's coming back, and he said they wouldn't be where they were without Cat. He had like a lot of rave reviews and positive things to say about Cat. So doesn't sound like Cat's going anywhere. So it's going to be a matter of if Glenn Taylor's willing to pay that luxury tax to keep the team together. But you're going to see guys like, I don't think Kyle Anderson will be back. I think he's going to. I don't think he's going to be there. So it's going to be imperative for the Wolves. They got to hit on like some of these draft picks because that trade they made with Rudy, like they lost. They didn't have their pick last year. They have their pick this year. But then it's like every other year. I think until 2027 maybe they won't have their pick because it's got to go to you
themselves.
Yeah, so like you got to hit on these picks. You got to, and it's the end of the first round, so like you got to hit on these guys. You got to develop them. Like you saw how Dallas had like that Hardy guy that was hitting threes. Like you got to. I think that was in Game 3 where he kept him in. You got to have guys like where you hit on guys like that and you develop them, because they're on cheap contracts. So when you got your heavy hitters making the bulk of the money, you need some of those role players that are on cheap contracts. They gotta contribute. Like the Wolves got a first round pick and Wendell Moore from I think it's 2 or 3 years ago from Duke. He never plays. It's like it's a wasted pick. He's sitting over there, in his warm ups. He's getting no take. Getting no contribution from him, and you need all the contribution you can get. So
what about that Luka Garza cat?
I like him. I like I like him. Is that his name? Is it Garza?
Yeah, Luka Garza.
Yeah. I like him. He's from Iowa, I believe.
Yeah, he was like National Player of the Year or
no. You're talking about the guy from Purdue.
Who the hell is that?
That's that 7-foot guy that's in the draft. Man, I'm drawing a blank. But the guy for the Wolves, out of Iowa. He's a 7-foot. He's really good. He's nice.
Yeah. So he only plays garbage time now.
And the problem is he's a center. So between Rudy and Towns and Naz Reid, there's not a lot of time for him to play.
You can bring it here.
Yeah.
Just throw it. Hold on. Just bring me water. You won't be on camera.
Oh, you're good. Appreciate the H2O. It's much needed.
I need that H2O.
Yeah.
Big time. Okay. So I think they can run it back with the team that they have. They just got to develop the players like Neil Alexander Walker, and we were texting about that the other day, because I think that he could be really good, and he just needs more kick. He needs more shot attempts and all that good stuff, because I think Conley's old. You know what I'm saying? He's getting old man injuries like that calf and that Achilles. That's an old man injury. You know what I'm saying? We talk about that all the time.
100%.
And while he's great and effective, he's getting older. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should bring him along if they can. I don't know what it's going. You know me, I don't know that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Brandon threw something in here. He said move Cat to 3 and chain Rudy to the paint. Cat needs to play like Bird. We need another banger in the paint. Garza's a stud. How many oops and dunks did we give up in the Dallas series? Oh man, that's a good point.
Man, Lively was shooting 100%.
100%, bro. He was like 13 for 13.
Nuts, man. Nuts. Like
he
was
before he
playing
got hurt.
I thought Rudy was going to be playing. That's how I thought the Wolves would have the advantage. I thought the Wolves would win in 6 because they would kill in the paint. We got killed in the paint.
Killed in the paint. We got them Giants, but those Giants aren't as athletic as theirs were.
That dude's different, man. That Lively, he's different. He's got that spring, that bounce. He reminds me of Tyson Chandler, like a young Tyson Chandler when he came in the league. He reminds me a lot.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of me back in the day.
Yeah, he does. That's the first thing I thought of was you and Tyson Chandler. So yeah.
You're like, that's like my man's in them.
Yeah, man, right.
In his prime. But yeah, he's a problem. And you know what? We were talking on the other show. I'm cool with Dallas going. You know what I'm saying? Like that's if anybody gonna go.
They've been talking a lot of junk though, man. These Mavs, man. I've been getting a lot of smack talk to me, man. I've been getting a lot of that.
Yeah, they've been talking mess, but in general, I like the Mavs. I want to see Luka do his thing. Let's see, Brandon said when Rudy stepped up to Luka at the perimeter, I think I had a stroke. Yeah,
I think we all did, man.
We all did.
Man. I was, bro. I could replay it in my head right now. I'm like, man, this is bad news bears right here. This is not going to end well. I was yelling at the TV like, why is he like? Send somebody else. Like, go double him. And if you give up a 2, I don't care. But
that's fine. We'll take that. We'll take that. That's like, hey, so he wouldn't. I mean, Jaden McDaniel saw it. He saw it happening. But he's like, I got my assignment. Just go double team.
Facts.
What are we doing? I don't think they weren't putting the pressure on those guys. Like, I mean, they did that little switch double team, but it just wasn't. It wasn't like they didn't come out putting pressure on them. You know what I'm saying? And you can't take the ball out of him because he's bringing the ball up. But it's just like, you know how they were blitzing Anthony Edwards. Why weren't they doing that with Luka?
Yeah. Take that ball out of his hand, man. And I get it. Kyrie was doing his thing.
Let him.
Yeah, but let him do his thing. Take Luka out of it.
Take him out of it.
You can't have both of them doing their thing. No, you just can't. Take Luka out of it. Take him out of it. He is a major problem. I think if they could go back in time, and obviously any team, if you could go back in time, there are things you would do differently. But I just think they mismanaged on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, big time. Okay, Brandon said how. You got to clarify it for me.
Yeah, which how?
Yeah. But yeah,
here's the other thing too. I was talking to my brother. My brother, he was talking about Connolly. He's like, he's getting older. Like the Wolves need to draft a young point guard, and I agree. Develop that point guard behind Connolly to where you can pass. You can pass that. That kind of hand that torch off. So he's saying, how do you take Luka out? You double team him. Like that's and I'm not saying you're not a player that caliber. You cannot fully shut him down. But if you're double teaming him, make some of those other guys just beat you. They just whether it's the PJ Washingtons and you can't double team him for the whole game, but you can do it for enough stretches to where I think you can relegate him. And that's maybe taking him out of the game isn't the right word, but limiting his offensive attempts and making other guys beat you. And I just don't think the Wolves did a good enough job of that, especially like in key moments, down the stretch.
Right.
I think you really could have taken the ball out of his hands more, and they didn't do it. So
they didn't do it. Yeah. It's not about stopping them, it's containing them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like how they used to be with Jordan. Like, we're not going to be able to stop him. But we can contain him. We give ourselves a better chance.
Right.
Let the other guys go off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what they did with Cat and Ant-Man.
Yeah. Speaking of Cat, it's like Cat. What frustrates me with him is, again, get your behind down about it in the paint, man. Make some layups, do some up and unders. Like, you've been in the league. If someone can check, verify, but I think he's been in the league since 2014. Like you have no low post moves, no consistent go-to low post moves. I don't want to hear you're the best shooting big man of all time. Like I don't care about none of that. Like man, have a versatility to your offensive game. Get in the paint, have some hooks, a left hook, a right hook, a up and under. You know, like shoot over. If you want to shoot a 5 foot, 7 foot. Like there's to me, your offensive game should be way more rounded than it is because if he's not hitting threes, he's worthless. He is absolutely worthless.
Yeah, yeah. And he's awkward when he drives to the hoop. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, when he came that game they won, he was pretty effective driving to the hoop, but it was just he was getting stupid fouls and all that, you know, offensive fouls and all that shit. Let's see. BJ said facts. Add 3 post moves, Cat. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Just 3. We ain't saying you need to go down there and be Kareem, but damn, man, do something, bro. You're out there, man. Like, and here's the other part: when one of your big guys is shooting threes and missing, you don't have a big rebounder down low, so they have another added advantage on you. So it's like, come on, man, like, he needs to spend his off season. I don't know if it's working with Hakeem or whoever, but man, you need to be down in the paint, man, developing, working on a couple moves. A couple that you can go to, a couple hooks, couple consistent moves, and you start because I think with him, it's breeding confidence. If he's knocking those down, and then that confidence is up, man, he's just I think he'll get even more looks, better looks from the 3-point line. That's kind of some of my issue with him too. Is he rushes a lot of 3-point shots. He's not set. The defender's in his face, and he's just he's firing them. It's like just launching them. It's like, man, that's not a good shot. That's not a good shot at all.
No. So we got Brandon said Cat is a mismatch every night and doesn't use it. Agreed. Absolutely agree. He said 1,500 shots a day. Cat is the most annoying player in the NBA to me.
Thanks. Damn lie. That's cappy. You are not shooting 1,500 shots a day. You're a doggone lie. There's no way you're doing that.
Yeah, they're talking about that Gilbert Arenas show. They were breaking it down, mathematically to be like, okay, well, maybe if he had a shooting machine, this and that. They're like, well, he could, but no.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
No, like every day.
Yeah.
What about game days? You know what I'm saying? He's not doing that.
Because I was listening to the NBA radio show in the morning time, and one of the guys on there, he played Brian Scalabrine. He played in the league. Well, he said even if he said he shot 500 shots a day, I would still say that's cap. He goes, but that's more believable. Just say you shot 500. Don't say you shot 1,500. He's like, that's a cap. That's major cap.
And Cat, that's cap. I'm sure they got on. I'm sure that the locker room got on his ass about that too. Clowning him. They said your arm will fall off. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, seriously, and you'd be a lot wetter too. We would 100%. See it. We would see it.
Come on, man.
If you could do that, we would see it. So
right. So overall, I think we were happy with the Wolves season. But to me, you got to take I think it's up to it's the ownership needs to keep this team together. And let them do their thing, because I get the luxury tax and it's not my money, but I'm just speaking. I don't have any empathy for billionaire owners when they say I got to pay luxury tax. I don't care. Whatever. Because the Wolves made a lot of money this postseason.
They did.
They made a lot merchandise sales. They got notoriety and in large part to Ant, but the team as a whole. But you got Ant he's a national face.
Yeah.
That people in different markets that hadn't necessarily seen him play, they're going to want to see him play more. Yep. So you made some revenue this year, right? Yeah. So
you'll make some next year because of that run.
And the Wolves window, I get it. You don't want to be a luxury tax team every year. That's not good. The punitive aspect of it is it can be large, but this window, man, next year for sure, pay that luxury tax. Keep the team together, because we, as Minnesota Timberwolves fans, you're a bigger Minnesota overall fan than I am, but as Minnesota Timberwolves fans, they're normally not in this position. So it's not like you've been paying luxury tax, man, with these busted ass rosters and teams that they've had over these years. So
20 years.
Yeah. So man, go ahead and pay. Yeah. Pay the money. If you need to add, But then, and fans, we got to be realistic. They're not going to pay this every year. So maybe a year from now, they scale the payroll back some. Maybe they move Cat and trade Cat and get, multiple players that equate to Cat's salary,
Right.
and you spread it out that way and get some draft picks to replenish some of the ones you lost in the Rudy trade. So, I trust Tim Connelly. He's a beast. It's just a matter of if the ownership's going to give him all the resources that he needs. But the Wolves roster is on the rise. They need to get a young point guard to back up Connelly because he's getting old, and they just need I think another step from them is Jaden McDaniel. He needs to become more aggressive on the offensive end. If he becomes more aggressive, and can add more points, that's another weapon right there. So they got to get better within as well.
I agree. Yeah. Make him a legit big three. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaden McDaniels, like you're the next man up. You know what I'm saying? If Ant is Cat, it should be Jaden McDaniels as far as scores. We got some comments here. BJ said, they're gonna show Wolves more next season. Yep,
they will.
They will more national games. And then Brandon said, Ant hype died hard in the Dallas series. He faded away a little bit, but I think those of us who are realistic, he's only 22.
And that's the whole thing. Like it may have died down some, but then you remember like that dunk that he had. That dunk, people are going to remember. Yes, and that dunk's going to be on commercials.
Yeah.
When you start getting closer to the season next year, that dunk's going to be, and people can go back and play it on their phone. You got the handheld, you're walking media with your phone, tablets and all that stuff. Like the ability to go back and play that. So like you said, he's only 22. What is he going to be like when he's 25 like Luka? I'm not saying he's going to be better than Luka, but can you imagine him in 3 years? Because dude is hungry, man. He just needs to keep getting better. And there's some games where he faded, where it felt like the moment was a little bit too big for him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be him. Like as he continues to, that maturation process as he continues to get older and more experienced and better and put work in. Like, I think he'll be better, and the Wolves will be better because of this. So, man, it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting. So let's real quick. Now, did you notice? I don't know if you heard about this. So the Wolves didn't really do any post-game interviews with like TNT or any of those guys.
They decided as a team not to do anything.
Well, Draymond made it personal, man. Like, the fans were booing Draymond. They were like, Draymond sucks. And he's like, what did I do? Rudy sucks. I'm like, why are you, you know what I mean? Like you're in the media now. You're supposed to be in a professional capacity. Like, I just think that's whack. You choked the guy. Clearly it's personal what you got against him. Like I just, I didn't respect, how TNT, they should have checked that. I think Draymond was weak for doing that.
I don't like him as a sports analyst. I don't like him on that panel. He says a lot of stuff that I'm just like, okay, that doesn't this
right.
So and I didn't see that. I didn't see Draymond Green say that. I just know that they didn't do any post game interviews or whatever. Which and to me that says a lot just for his team unity. Do I agree with it? No. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes it look like sore losers. You know what I mean? But whatever. That's what you guys decide to do as a team. Do your thing.
Yeah,
I'm not here to judge.
Correct. And it didn't have anything to do with winning or losing or anything like that. That didn't impact but that part to me was whack. But I feel the criticism on Cat was fair. I feel some of the criticism on Rudy was fair.
Right.
It was there. I feel some of the criticism on the Wolves in-game decisions were fair.
Right. Absolutely. And that's fine. And what it is when you lose, you know what I'm saying? You lose a series, expect it to come. So I mean, they were tearing them apart when they lost those games to Denver. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're about to get eliminated, destroying them. And then here's the thing: winning cures everything.
It does.
So but Draymond Green, he's we don't like him anyway.
I'm just tired of him. That's great. Like I do think he's overhyped. I think he's overrated. I feel like he fell into, and we talked about it, we didn't necessarily go down that road. He fell into a great situation and he made the most of it. Salute. He's gonna go in the Hall of Fame, all of that stuff. 4-time champion, one-time defensive player of the year, but you know,
Yeah.
he's not like a franchise carrier. He's a piece.
Right.
You know, he's not. No one's going to draft him to be the guy. That's you wouldn't win that way.
No.
But I digress. But yeah, man, let's jump into the we got the NBA finals. Obviously Dallas and Boston. I think Boston has home court advantage.
Yep.
They're the best record in NBA. So that kicks off on Thursday night. What are your thoughts on the series? Who do you have winning?
Before I say that, let me throw this up here real quick. Brandon said, "Who likes green? Negativity is polarizing, unfortunately." Yeah,
he's right.
Absolutely.
He's right. Facts.
I agree. I got Boston winning.
Okay.
Because they've been there.
Yeah.
They know what it takes. I think it's Tatum's time, and it's crazy because they're still young too. They're super young. But they've been battle tested, and then I believe Porzingis is back.
He should be, and people sleep on Jaylen Brown, man.
Oh man, yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, did he win Eastern Conference Finals MVP?
Yeah, it's the Larry Bird Award. So the Western Conference is the Magic Johnson Award, and then the Eastern Conference is the Larry Bird. Yeah, he won it, man. Dude's two-way player. He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a problem. He's a problem.
And did you see the controversy with him and Stephen A. Smith?
No.
So Stephen
No, I think I did. Rehash it for me.
Stephen A. Smith, when he was on air, and he said that they were talking about why Jaylen Brown is he underrated, why he's not marketable, why you don't see him on commercials.
Yes.
And Stephen A. Smith read off a quote that he had gotten while they were on the air from like a NBA executive, just saying he's not well liked. He kind of has that, that smarter, I'm better than you type mentality.
Right.
And Isaiah Thomas, see, Jaylen Brown, I follow this stuff heavy. So Jaylen Brown, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school thing in the Marietta, Georgia area. And, me being a Carolina fan, I follow that recruiting heavy. And Carolina was recruiting him, and he went out to Berkeley. UC Berkeley, man, that's a high, educational institution. And he went out there, and a lot of people don't know, man, like he's gotten like internships with NASA, and he's valedictorian, like dudes,
it's very
academic resume is it's crazy. It's not something you would typically see, from an athlete.
Right.
So Isaiah Thomas, the Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, he graduated, he played at Indiana, graduated from there, but he got his master's degree from Berkeley. So he actually mentored Jaylen Brown when he was out there. Isaiah was actually out there getting his master's degree. And he said, called Stephen A. Smith. He tweeted back and he said, before you slander his name, he said, I've known him for several years. I've been a mentor to him. Great human being, far from arrogant, or thinking he's better than anyone. He said, before you slander his name, have your source put their name. Whoever's making this comment, have them stamp their name on it.
Yeah. And Jaylen Brown said that he tweeted the same thing, right? He's like, name the source.
And Stephen A. Smith's like, and I get it. You're in the media. You can't bust roll your sources, so to speak. But I also think you're lame for like, getting him to read something. If you got something to say it.
Right.
Just go out, just come out and say it. With this day and age, you can be, keyboard warriors and just hide behind a computer or your phone and tweet and type stuff and put stuff on social media and not necessarily, put your name on it. Just hide behind the cloak of, a being online or a fake profile or whatever the case may be. And I
anonymous.
I think that's unfair. Yes.
Yeah. What BJ said, he's smarter and better. Dude, is that deal? I don't know if he's better, but the brother's smart. Yeah,
he's smarter. Yeah. I don't, the better part, I don't, that's whatever. I don't think anybody's better than anybody. You may be better in the, you may be better than someone in your profession, in terms of you perform better, but I don't think anyone's a better person than anyone else. But he's not your typical person that you would see in the NBA in terms of, just from a resume standpoint and the things that he, I think he was teaching robotics. I think was something that I mean,
smokes.
I don't think that's an easy thing to do. I know I couldn't teach it. So like,
right.
I
Exactly.
wouldn't know where to start
at all.
Right,
at all.
right. So it's just like I think he does things, where like they may want him to do, your local Dunkin' Donuts commercial or your local, and he doesn't want to do that stuff. He's like, nah, that's not what I want, for my brand. He talked about bringing just, he got $300 million contract. He talked about taking that and bringing generational wealth into some of those deprived communities in the Boston area, like, and setting up streams of income and resources to go to some of those schools and different things like that. Like, you can't fault him for that. He's not out here committing crime. He's not a disruption in the locker room. You know what I mean? You don't hear nothing bad about that guy. Nothing at all. So
right. Yeah, he's pretty quiet. For the most part. Let's see here. Brandon said Brown knows that dude is Ant 2.0 and Josh Dobbs astronaut with actual athletic talent. Yeah. I was thinking about Josh Dobbs too when you said that, when you were talking about his his education or whatever, because he's one of them.
Facts. That's it's a funny mix analogy you just made, but it's true.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. Very true. He's actually good though. Is Josh Dobbs still on the roster? I hope he's not.
I don't think so, man. We'll get in some of these next shows. They start having some OTAs and stuff. We definitely jump back into the football. But yeah, so you got Boston and how many games?
Yeah, I got Boston in 6.
Okay, I'm the same with you. Yeah, I got Boston in 6. And if Porzingis comes back, that's going to be a problem because you're going to have to take Lively now. Is going to have to come out to the 3-point line and really guard. Really guard a 3-point.
He really is a threat.
Yep, because Rudy wasn't.
No.
So now you're really gonna have to. And Boston is deep, man. With Al Horford, like that last game I think Al Horford hit like 4 or 5 3-point shots. They're just deep, and they can throw. Your Derek White, who I think is their best defender.
Yeah,
Derek White, Andrew Holiday.
Yeah,
like man, they got a lot of guys. You're gonna put Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's going to have to guard Luka, but it's going to be, a committee. Tatum's going to have to guard him some.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a committee. My biggest thing with Luka, man, Luka's coach, but that whining with the officials, it's every play. Like that dude has never committed a foul, and then he's always fouled on the other end. I get so tired of that, man.
Yeah.
It is old and played out.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. We've seen you hit his arm. We've seen it. You're like, you can't fool us. When we could replay it on our TV and run it back. We saw it. You fouled that dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's always run it back. Like, man, like I heard one of the analysts say, was it last game? Might have been the game before that. I couldn't really watch the last game, but they said coaches is like start tracking how many players do that and how many times they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like when they have to do the replay or whatever. But he's annoying with that. I mean, Goat James would never do that. So
no, LeBron LeBron would never. LeBron would never flop. LeBron would no. He's never done any of the theatrics. It's never.
Whenever when he's done it, he's been right. He's been right. So.
Every time. Yeah. Just like his hairline never rubbed off in a game either, but it's different subject for a different day.
That was AI.
Oh, wow.
that was AI.
Only AI I know about is Allen Iverson.
I hate it here. All right, man. Yes. I think and the reason why I think it's going to go 6 games, Chris, is because Porzingis is going to have to find his place, his way back in the offense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're going to have to find because they've been playing without him for so long that it takes a while to bring those, bring the guy back. Steve Brandon said, AI is the Conley on the Celtics. You need that Sam Mitchell YMCA old man game to call. Wow. Shit, I haven't heard Sam Mitchell. I heard that name in a long time. Lord. But yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting series, though, man. I'm excited to watch it.
So we both got Boston at 6, man. I know we're getting close to winding down a little bit. So who is your Finals MVP?
It'd probably be Tatum.
I got Jaylen Brown. So you got Tatum, I got Brown. So
okay,
we'll see. Anybody that's in the chat, just throw in the chat. Give us your prediction on who you think will win the series, and who do you have as your final your finals MVP. So yeah, man. Last topic I wanted to touch on. So May 29th was the day, the deadline for the players to stay in the NBA draft or go back to college. So Bronny James, he's staying in the draft, and then his agent is Rich Paul, obviously with Clutch Sports, but he announced that he's only going to work out for the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. So I want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think of that? Is that a mistake?
I think it's a mistake. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't want to see LeBron and Bronny play together.
You do or you don't?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't want to see that, man. And it might be great. It might be great because they've been doing it for, so long, whatever. I just don't. I don't see LeBron. I don't see Bronny getting on the floor. You know what I mean? Like so he's a G League player right now.
I mean, bro, you've averaged 5 points a game in college. Like you were like the third or fourth best player on your team that wasn't even good. And then, it wasn't his fault, but he sat out so many games because of the heart ailment that he had, that procedure he had up in, the Mayo Clinic up in Minnesota. He sat out all that time and, want to make sure he's in the proper health to come back and play. But like, if it was any other guy, we wouldn't even be talking about him. He wouldn't have been declaring for the draft. No. He wouldn't even be in consideration. You wouldn't be dictating. Your agent wouldn't be dictating to teams. You'd just be trying to get a workout for teams. You'd be hoping two teams would want to work you out. But you're going to pick the two teams. And here's the problem with this situation. Bronny is going to get hate. He's going to get shade because not of anything he did. It's just because of who his dad is.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because they talk about nepotism, like nepotism's done all the time, right? So let's say Papa Taylor, man, let's say he had, he's running a business and he opens that door and he gets you in and you work, you get elevated or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's nepotism, but the world doesn't care because they don't really know who you guys are.
Correct.
Nobody cares, But when you're LeBron James, who's on a Mount Rushmore of NBA players, and he's polarizing in the sense of a lot of folks don't like him because of stuff that has nothing to do with basketball. That stuff is going to be placed on his son, and his son has nothing to do with any of that. That's the unfortunate part. And there's going to be people that want him to fail just because of that.
Yep. It's a bad look, man. It's really bad. See Brandon. Oh, let's see. Say Pops. He said bad move by LeBron. Yep.
Thanks.
I agree that.
Facts.
Definitely. Brandon said this is privilege. I actually feel bad for him. No way he can ever get out of that shadow.
No, it's like I saw LeBron said if he could go back in time, he would have given him a different name. He was like, he picked him, Bronny himself, like he wants to go by Bronny. Like, can you imagine going by LeBron James Jr. or Michael Jordan II? Like, man, come on. Like, the only person
it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. The only person I saw who held it down and then really elevated was Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Like, he was way colder than his dad.
Yeah, and his dad was good.
Yeah. But Griffey's legendary.
Legendary. Yeah.
Legendary. That's like one of the only folks I saw that, had the namesake that that really elevated,
Right.
So
and I get it. You want to see that for your son. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your kid, that's your seed. So you want to see, you want to be able to do whatever you can in your power to help him succeed. Yeah. I get that. I really do. But you made the bag. He's rich forever.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He's rich forever. So you did your job, bro.
And I don't think LeBron did any favors. Remember during the season when he tweeted out he was like, his son can come in and play 75% than the players in the league or whatever percentage. Like, man, you're putting pressure on your son that he don't need. He doesn't need that. Don't do that.
He's not that nice.
No, and he's not that. I actually think the younger son, Bryce, is better from what I've seen.
Yeah,
I think Bryce is better. I think Bryce has got more long-term upside. It's impossible to expect either of them to be their dad. Like, that's foolishness, right?
Like I said, LeBron's a generational player. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get many of those. So Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened with Jordan's sons. They were trash.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
come on, man. I like, are you doing it because Jordan's sons were trash? And so, like, are you buying into the Jordan LeBron debate? I hope he's not doing that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, well, this is gonna, gonna one up, MJ because my son's gonna be in the league. Blah, blah. Like, I don't know. It's a bad move. I don't want to see them play together.
I don't either, man. I'd rather him go off someplace else, and then they're already saying we're not going to play under a two-way contract. We're not going to. It's like, come on, man. Like,
how you making these demands? You're trash.
Thank you. You're not nice like that to be
No.
doing that type. That's the part that I don't respect about that aspect. And again, it has nothing to do with Bronny James. He's following the leadership of his
Of his pops.
Right.
Because he's still a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still a child. So
yeah,
it is his dad should know better. I don't know why he's doing. We got another comment from Brandon. It said I will give him credit because he ain't doing LeVar Ball ish. Yeah, I agree. He's not doing that, but the Ball brothers are better than Bronny. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I mean, close. But yeah, those two, it's not even close. Like those guys. And LeVar had a big mouth. I think LeVar, like, there were several areas he overstepped, but he also did a heck of a job, man. You had two sons go in the lottery in the top 3 picks of an NBA draft. Like, that's unheard of.
Right.
Now there's also, they're both injury prone, but they also, they've made their money.
They can hoop.
They can hoop. And
yep.
LaMelo, I think LaMelo's he's in the first year or about to be in the first year for $200 million contract. So it's like,
yeah.
He definitely did his thing, but
and I kind of see LeVar. He's just riding hard for his kids. You know what I'm saying?
He is. It's just some of that stuff he does too. My son's better than Steph Curry. Curry's too little. I think people just started. They took that too literal. Like, he's pumping his son up, and that's how, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He obviously, anybody that knows basketball knows that was utter nonsense. Or when he said he could beat Michael Jordan's too little, and sure you could.
Right.
I
could beat Michael Jordan. Like,
right.
I know who could. LeBron James, but that's the story for a whole nother.
LeVar Ball has a better chance. But
wow. I hate you. I hate you, man. But nah, I think that's crazy, man. But we'll see what happens. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that the NBA game is better for Bronny, and then maybe he just wasn't at his physical peak in college. You know what I'm saying? Well, he had to come back from the heart condition. So I don't know.
He'll be able to spread out more. College, the NBA game is it's a much faster game, and it's wider. The lanes are more there. It's not as in college. It's
not
more
robotic
in the paint. Yep. So he is athletic. I think he'll never be, like, to me, a premium scorer. He's going to make his mark on the defensive end. So that could be something. Maybe he could be a Derek White. He said the guys he looks up to are like Derek White, Drew Holiday, and there was one other player that slipped my mind who he kind of like tries to pattern his game after.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting, man. Man, let's see. Papa Taylor, man.
Papa Taylor said, I agree. The balls were just putting on a show, and it worked. Yep.
Worked. But man, it was textbook. It worked perfectly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It worked perfectly. It worked.
Yep. Because it's still relevant, even though they never play.
Yeah, well, what's so funny is Lonzo Ball, he's in the last year of his contract, because he hasn't played in basically like 2 years. And he's had these different types of procedures on his knee, and he said he was in like there was no meniscus, I think, so it's basically like bone on bone rubbing together. Yeah, so he had a procedure where they put something in there, so he should be back. I think he said he's about 75-80% right now. So he should be back. This is his last year of his contract coming up. But yeah, man, it worked. Yeah, generational, well set up, all of that type of stuff, man. So I mean, shout out to them, man. But
hell yeah.
Yeah, but man, we definitely appreciate everybody that was in the chat and that participated. If you didn't get a chance to listen live, just like and subscribe.
Yes. Yes.
And we'll be back. On the next show we'll be into the should be at least one game into the NBA Finals.
Yeah. And Sunday. Well, I'll be in Minnesota next Sunday, so we won't be able to do the show. So we'll have to
right.
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next show that we'll do will be a few games into the finals, so we'll be able to touch on that and actually start some NFL talk too. There's been some OTAs, and we're getting closer to training camp. Which is kicking off towards the latter part of July. But we'll definitely touch on some different topics on the next show. But we appreciate everybody that jumped on.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys back in a couple weeks.
All right, my man.
All right. Good. We got one more comment before we leave. Good show. Thanks for letting me in. I have a lot to say. Hey, man. Hey, we love it. We love it. We love the action in the comments. And that is just a promotion type deal. So
okay, we don't need that. Never
definitely
heard.
Don't need it. Never heard of her.
No.
All right, man. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
All right.